You're listening to FAMcast, the For All Manakind podcast, with your hosts, the competitive spirit, Trey Simpson, our own devil's advocate, Tim Weber, and the hopelessly optimistic Trevor Jorgensen. This is FAMcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to FAM's first game review in a what was like a podcast-esque type ordeal here that we're doing.
Yeah.
So Gears of War 5 just launched a couple days ago after what was some unfortunate server issues that were going on. We all finally got a chance to kind of get our hands on it. Me probably more than the other two, just because that's like one of my pride and joy games, you know. Multiplayer in Gears of War 1, that was it. That game, that's where I just loved that game, and that game got me hooked into the multiplayer of the rest of it. And we're now 5 games into this series if you don't count like Judgment and stuff, right? So I was super excited about it. I don't know about the rest of you two. I don't know if you guys were on the same page of excitement as I was when it came to it.
I was not.
No? That's okay. So I was pretty pumped for it. I didn't expect a lot. One of the reasons was I didn't feel like the build-up for it was honestly like super high. Like, did you guys ever get the feel like the build-up was like pumping anywhere? Like, I've seen like Borderlands 3, for example. This build-up for that has just been everywhere. Gears of War was just like,
they've been ramping up like crazy on this.
Right.
It was big at E3, and that's kind of the, I don't know.
And even at E3, it was just kind of like, here it is, and moving on.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll start with what I consider one of the few unique things that Gears of War brings to the shooter franchise, and that's an actual good story, right? So if you're a fan of the series, Gears of War's campaign has been one of the main reasons to get the game. Like, the multiplayer is the main reason, but for a shooter, Gears of War's campaign throughout the whole series, again, excluding Judgment, has been very, very well thought out, and it has those feel-good moments and all these other moments to kind of bring the game to something that I wish a lot of shooters had, right? Definitely. So, have you guys completed the campaign? Let's start with that.
I have not.
No.
So, have you guys even started the campaign?
Yes.
No, I haven't. I think you're the only one that's completed.
Because I wanted to get through it, A, because it was a Gears campaign, but B, because Borderlands coming out, and I wanted to make sure I didn't have something in the back of my mind, right?
Right.
So let's start there. I thought the campaign itself was probably, honestly, the highlight of this game. If I look at all the segments, Escape, Multiplayer, Horde, Campaign, I would rank Campaign as probably my favorite thing that I've done, that I've experienced with the game in total. Story was great. The game's beautiful looking. Like, and the campaign really showed that off. There's a few areas you go to that there's a couple areas that, like, a couple of the acts that turn into like almost like an open world optional thing. Like, you don't have to go do these optional missions you get, but because of how it is, it's not like 100% linear.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it feels like there's
you can go exploring,
more,
and it opens up the world a bit, and it just, my God, the world just looks beautiful. Like, it's just a beautiful looking game.
Oh yeah. It definitely strays away from those the stark, like, just browns and blacks and grays to more like greens, vibrant reds, and it's definitely easily the best looking Gears game to date. Easily.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Like, the color palette is there. It's spot on. Like, it looks very, very good.
Oh yeah.
But the story in itself was phenomenal, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, especially you two here who haven't, got to play it.
I mean, I watched you play it, but
oh yeah, you were there. But like, I really thought of the stories of all the games. Honestly, this is probably my second favorite campaign story overall. I think 3's still the best for multiple reasons, in my personal opinion. Maybe it was because it was like the end of like a trilogy, and they tied it really well. But like, this campaign, there was a lot to it. Like, I definitely had I had some moments. That's what I'll say. Like, for sure. that I was really hoping I'd get out of this campaign that I wasn't expecting. Just because we're on number 5 now, who knows what you're going to get, right? It's just like a gear. But no, you could tell they really put a lot of thought into it. So I would say the campaign was easily probably my biggest highlight of the game overall so far.
What made the campaign so good for you?
So mainly the couple things actually. One, I felt like if you wanted to just get the story out of it and you didn't want to do all the side BS, you didn't have to do the side BS. The game's campaign honestly is probably 8 to 9 hours. It might, I don't know how far that would extend with the optional stuff because I really I didn't go do that. But with that, I hate campaigns that don't get to the point quick enough. You go, and some Gears games did that. Some games are like, oh no, this is trapped. Now we got to go an alternate path to get to where we needed to go to begin with. Right. And it's a 3-hour venture just to get to where we were going to try to get to the begin with, you know? So I like that there wasn't a lot of that. I mean, there's a couple points where you're just like, oh crap, well, this is locked. We got to go do something, but it's not long. It's not like a super long process to do that something.
It doesn't feel pointless.
Doesn't feel pointless. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. It doesn't feel pointless. It makes sense. Everything fits. Everything goes well. So that was probably my biggest thing, was how well timed it was. I felt like when it ended, it was a great way to end. It was a great timing. I didn't feel bored of it. So the pacing was really well done. That was probably my favorite part, other than the actual story itself. Like the story of this game was good. Like it was. I can't wait for another one.
So with that, do you think so? That makes it seem like it ends like there will be another one?
I believe there will be another one. I mean, I guess some people can think otherwise, but at the same time, probably there's going to be another one.
I mean, to be fair, it's one of Microsoft's only big exclusive franchises, so they'd be kind of silly not to continue it. Right. You know, especially with how popular it is, and especially with it being, I know you mentioned people buy Gears for the multiplayer,
right?
Especially continuing having an exclusive IP like that has such a strong multiplayer is going to be important for their future too.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So I mean, without you guys having a whole lot into campaign, let's move on to something that I know at least Trey has partaked in a little bit, and I've partaked in a little bit. Let's talk about multiplayer. Let's just dive right into that.
Let's do it.
So,
man.
Trevor, have you played multiplayer?
A little bit, yeah.
So, Trey, what is your experience with multiplayer then? Like, how many Gears games have you multiplayed in?
I've played Gears multiplayer a lot. I think I played 3 a whole lot, Judgment quite a bit. 2 was probably it was my start of the competitive play for Gears, but
2 had so much lag.
Oh god, yeah.
Let me tell you, that's how dedicated Gears fans were at the time. We played through the lag. We didn't care. Still, day to day, every day, wake up, get on that game, and we played. And I'm not talking like if you go back and watch some videos, look at posts about it. The lag in that game was
terrible.
It
was atrocious.
But we played it because it was Gears of War and it was amazing. So you're well experienced, then I'd say, at least in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Trevor, other than this game?
I played Gears of War 3 a little bit when that came out.
A little bit when that came out.
Because that was in my GameStop phase where, you know, I didn't have to buy it. I was just able to, you know, check it out. So that's the only way I really played Gears, was not buying it. It was just never really my thing.
Okay, no, that's fair. So with me having the main experience in the campaign and everything, and that was kind of like my big deal. You probably put more time in the multiplayer 5, Trey, than anything else, I'd assume. Yes.
Oh yeah, easily.
So what are your thoughts?
I think it's aside from server issues, I think it's fantastic. Of course, with it missing some very staple modes that I know you're pretty upset about, Tim, but I think they've already confirmed that they're actually working on new modes and stuff like that already. The combat still feels super clean. Active reloading always feels good. The new addition of I guess it's not kind of new, but the executions are a lot quicker, I guess you could say. They're not as like super cinematic. But overall, my experience has been pretty good. I like the differences between like the classic quick play and then the new arcade mode, which kind of gives it more of like a mode. What's that?
Have you played arcade mode?
Oh yeah. That's like mainly what I was playing with.
Oh,
was the
did
arcade
not know
mode.
that.
I found a lot of enjoyment in it because that's what the beta was the arcade mode.
I haven't actually touched it since full release. So, like, how do you feel about because that's the biggest addition to the multiplayer's arcade mode. What do you think?
Correct. I think it's great. It's very character dependent. Think of it as like, I hate to make the comparison, but like Overwatch, whereas like each character has like their own abilities that, you know, give it its own different guns. So say I could play a JD, and I forget what his ability is now that I think about it, because I mainly play like Emil and like everything.
Okay.
Shout outs to Microsoft for adding in Halo characters in a Gears of War game. That's huge.
Right.
But I mainly play Emil, so like his ultimate is a drop shield.
Okay.
You can't shoot out of it. You can't shoot into it. It's basically like a safe space. You know, you get your health back, go out,
Okay.
guns blazing again.
So it's not broken because you can't shoot out of it either.
Right. It's not broken. I wish you could shoot out of it, which would be sweet, but
I'm sure you do.
And then like his main things, like you have well, I guess not for actual multiplayer itself, but like Horde mode and escape. You actually get player cards. So like Emil, the build that I have right now, he's very melee heavy. So like 2 swipes of his knife and the enemies are dead.
Okay.
That's just for Horde mode and escape mode. But
Okay.
as far as like the arcade mode, his guns are mainly like the Marza, just very like precision guns, and the shotgun, of course, because that's Emil's thing, is close combat. But besides
you
that,
like arcade.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely enjoy arcade. I think it's my favorite right now.
Okay. Trevor, how much experience? I know you said you dabbled.
A couple matches.
Any thoughts?
That's truly it. Like it, I don't hate it by any means. I just don't think it's my style.
Understandable. Like third person.
It takes a while to get used to a few of the mechanics, like the cover mechanic and the active reload. Some of that just takes some getting used to, especially when you hold down A and you're dashing to the next wall, and if you don't really understand the mechanic well, you can kind of get like stuck to a wall you don't really mean to get stuck on, and it's just something that takes time. And with everything coming out, I don't know if I'm currently willing to invest that time because we know that it'll be a busy weekend with a different game for all of us. But yeah, I definitely didn't hate it by any means. I think Horde mode was probably my favorite that we played. But I'm a fan of I don't want to compare it to like tower defense, but
just that style of game.
Yeah, right. To where like you have waves of enemies and you kind of like build up. I know it's kind of light on that part. It's not really a focus of like building up the barricades and the traits and stuff, but I still enjoy that aspect.
So go for it.
I'll say one thing with multiplayer, at least as far as like PvP, the PvP style of the multiplayer. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of gun tweaking. I think the assault rifles don't do as much damage as I would hope they would. Of course, you know, Nasher is always going to be brutal. They're forever going to be like the go-to gun for everybody. But I think guns like the Lancer, they don't do enough. They're just, you know, rocks to a tank. It's not
right.
A whole lot of damage, but of course, the game just came out, so I do feel like a lot of tweaking is going to happen.
And there's always balance changes as the game goes on, of course, as any game goes on, right? So my biggest downfall with the multiplayer was the fact that Execution and Warzone wasn't in competitive play, and other than custom matches, I don't think you can see Warzone at all, which is that's okay with me. I was more of an Execution person, but I guess I shouldn't hold that against that game, because apparently if I would have just looked and read into it, I would have known that before launch. My fault.
Yeah, I think they're just getting the base game out first.
Right, and it blew my mind though, because I saw it as like, okay, super excited. Where's it at? Like, this is the 2 core game modes that you had from the get-go of Gears 1 brought to every game since then. Apparently, in Gears 4, it didn't go, like, well, because barely anybody played them.
Yeah.
Who knew, right?
It's definitely kicking the teeth, but it's good to hear that they're bringing it back.
Yeah, hopefully the rumors are true, and they're going to bring at least Execution to competitive play, because that's what I want. Like, I can play Execution through quick play, through voting systems and stuff, which is great, but, I mean, it's a very unique game mode that in that series, because most of the game modes now in the game all have respawn mechanics to them.
Yeah.
Like where those two game modes don't. So you have to be strategic. The whole entire thing, you have to be strategic.
For sure.
I never felt like lag played a factor in any of my kills and or being killed. I felt like the connections were very solid. I will kind of disagree with you, believe it or not, on the assault rifle thing. And here's the reason why. So playing a lot of Gears of War, me versus you, with my assault rifle versus you with a Nasher. If you are at range trying to run up on me, I will take you down every time. Every time.
Oh, I mean,
But the way the Lancers work best, and I only say this from A, being wrecked by people doing this to me constantly, or B, being part of the people wrecking people doing it, it's a team-based gun for sure. If you sit back undercover, like technically when it comes to the competitive game mode that should bring out, because Gears of War, a lot of Gears of War, and the reason a lot of people hate Gears of War, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people have the issue, is it's just a run up and Nasher fight 90% of the time, right? That's what Gears of War pretty much is. But when you get to that competitive scene, when you start to actually be like a team and a unit, Lancers outclass everything. Every single gun, a Lancer will outclass it, because you're sitting back undercover and you're cross-firing people. You can mess people up hard. One of the things I noticed in this game that's a little bit different than the others is I don't feel like the stopping power is really there like it used to be. That maybe that's one of the tweaks that they could do to make the Lancer feel a little bit more like it has a bit more of a punch. Because when someone's running up on you, it doesn't slow them down as much, I feel like, as it did in the others, which wasn't so much a power issue as much as it stopped someone with a Nasher getting in your face quicker.
Yeah. Because the only way to fight a Nasher currently is with another Nasher, or if you have the cryo gun.
Right. But, so maybe that gets tweaked a little bit as well. But I feel like the multiplayer is in a good place. I enjoyed what we've played.
Yeah,
I've had some good times, and I do look forward to playing it a lot more. Like, I will be playing that quite a bit more. So that's my thoughts on multiplayer. Any other last thoughts on multiplayer?
I'm excited for more maps already.
Right.
People are already picking like very specific maps because examples like the ice map.
Right.
There's the environmental hazards. So like
I think that's great, by the way.
I think I like it too. If it's not me that's running in the ice, but I can already tell like some maps are getting favored over others. Yeah. And with all the different environments that I've seen in campaign, I'm looking forward to see more of them coming to multiplayer.
I agree. Let's just touch on Escape real quick, because I honestly don't want to spend a lot of time on Escape at all. It's a fun game mode. It's solid for what it is. I can see the value of playing it for certain people, not really for me. I tried it. It was okay. I tried it again, and I'm just like, I'd rather play the other game modes. I'm not going to hold it against them for adding something new it's not like, it's one of those things like, I'm not going to bash them for adding a game mode that I have a complete option to just not play and still get the full experience of the game, right?
Right.
For those that aren't familiar with Escape, do you want to give a quick rundown?
So
what it includes?
Basically, you start off, and it can be a generated quote-unquote dungeon, I guess is what we'll call it, from Gears themselves, or user-generated maps that basically you're a 3-man group. You have special abilities to help you get through. You're lacking on ammo basically the whole time, so melee becomes your best friend. And there's you detonate something. It's like the smoke that winds up killing the swarm. And your objective is to get from point A to point B of said dungeon, which is the escape route, and survive. Sometimes there's a boss at the end. Sometimes apparently there's not a boss at the end. That's essentially the objective. It is a ammo starved dungeon run.
Yeah.
3-person co-op.
Yeah. And you can create I think you touched on, users can create their own maps, which
correct.
Is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Again, it's a game mode that, it's a great, interesting idea. I'm not faulting it for adding it, because I'm sure there's going to be people who really enjoy it. And hey, look, if you have only 2 other buddies with you and you want to do something, boom, perfect. Yeah. But not something for myself. I'm not saying I won't ever play it again, but my interest is elsewhere.
Yeah. Would you be more interested if they had... maybe they do, I don't know, but if they had rewards like different skins for playing through on harder difficulties?
That's a great way to get people to play things, right? Skins, collectibles, stuff like that. Yeah. I would play it, because I'm not against playing it. I just don't have a desire, a need yet, sure. I guess. There's nothing there that's pulling me hey, you have to play this for this. I'd be okay if they're hey, if you really want this badass JD skin, if you do this in under 10 minutes, you get it. Something like that. Cool, great, grand, wonderful.
Do you know if that's the case? Like, are there unlockables for escape?
As far as I'm aware, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, the only unlockables that I've seen other than achievements, only like by leveling up, because that's the other, I guess, benefit to playing it is anything you do in the game levels your overall level up. No matter what you're doing, Horde, multiplayer, it's all one level. So that's it.
Okay.
So now there's the what is it? Not I don't know if I said Call of Duty. Tour of Duty, where you unlock stars, and that gives you unlockables as well, which is pretty cool.
Like
I think
objectives.
I think it's weekly, right?
Yeah.
It's either weekly or bi-weekly, but you get different rewards through that. And if you collect enough stars, I think at the end of that Tour of Duty, you get like a pack of things, to my understanding, as well.
There's a pack, and sometimes there's an item specific, like, hey, do all this and get this. Yeah.
Cool. So it's kind of like if you think of it like in the beta, it's like if you were to do like 8 Nasher kills with 4 melee and win 3 games of arcade, you got the beta Nasher skin.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So stuff like
same
that.
concept. Yep.
Yeah. Which is
anything
I
else?
like personally. I think that's pretty
You guys
cool.
want to? Yeah,
It's a fun way to unlock things.
It gives you reasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you something to come back to.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to dive any further into Horde mode at all. I know you mentioned you actually made it all the way through wave 50 the other night.
We so that was gonna be like I guess the final subject of the game, right? Because we hit on the other 3. So let's hit on Horde. Horde is still Horde. We did get through wave 1 through 50. The big difference in this one is now your characters have ultimate abilities. So in 4, they introduced this card system. Like, you can get these cards and you level up the cards by unlocking them in loot crates and blah, 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 blah. Well, now you don't have that. There's a card system still, but it's still character specific for, depending on the person you're playing with the cards. But as you level up that person in Horde, they unlock. And you can still find things and whatnot to help unlock and level up the cards themselves. But then each character also has a unique, well, I think most of them are unique, ultimate ability. Like JD throws down mortars, Faz. I think it's his name. I think I say his name. But the sniper guy, he can see through walls and shoot through walls. So not only can he see through them, but he can shoot through. So it brings in a good element of, oh shit, what are we going to do? There's a boss. Oh, wait, I got some mortar. Pew! And, it adds... Horde is for fun, right? Yeah, Mainly Horde is for fun, and it adds a lot of fun elements. We had a lot of fun. It still took, 4 or 5 hours.
What?
To get through 50 waves. Dude, it takes... You get to, those last 10 waves, it takes time.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know how long we played, but we got to 39, I think.
I think it took about 2 hours or so. It was fun though, really all the way through. Yeah, it was a good time, man.
That's wild.
Maybe it was only 3 or 4 hours, but it took time. I promise you, it took time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I believe it.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy the aspect of it. I hope to see more characters, because there are some characters lacking, if you ask me, in terms of playability. But future content, they tend to always join. My one gripe was, and maybe this was in 4, maybe I just don't know how to do it in 5. I could be wrong. But you have to have an engineer to upgrade classes to upgrade barriers and turrets and stuff. As far as I'm aware, you have to have them. Now, you can buy the tool, but I think if you buy the tool as another person, all that does is give you the ability to repair it, not to upgrade. But I could be wrong. Again, I never fully tested it yet. But from what I read, that's the only way to upgrade.
That's fair. And what do you? I know you mentioned characters. What do you think of the map selection so far?
I like the maps that are there. I do. I don't think there's a single map that I dislike yet. But I want some more. Okay. I've definitely played the same map a few times. Yeah. More than a few times. And
a whole lot of training.
It can get boring if you play the same map over and over and over.
That's fair.
Your thoughts on Horde?
I enjoy it. I like the idea of the card system a whole lot. I think 4 was the one Gears game that I did skip on it. But I like the card system a lot. Being able to level up those cards brings another like an aspect of replayability.
It gives you reason to keep going back. Like, man, Trey, you're really good as Jack the bot. Like, man, you're great. You get to take over people. You're fantastic. Or who do you play in Horde? Who's your favorite Horde?
Emil, dude. Emil all day.
So you're really good as Emil, and you could tell it because like your Emil's like level 15. You got maxed out cards. You just taking people out, pop, 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 pop. You know, it's good because you could be that guy who has Emil like mastered, as to where I have nothing in Emil, but I have JD mastered. You know, it's just it's nice. It's nice to have a role where you fit in and you feel like you are bringing something to the table.
Yeah, it's like you pick a character that fits your play style, not
correct.
Play any character and try to make it fit your play style, which is nice.
Right.
Like having a class-based Horde mode is very interesting, and it fits really well with Gears.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's all Trevor has. I like it.
I like it. Gears is. I mean, that's really all I played in Gears 3. Like I said, was Horde mode, and I liked it then, and I like it now. If I do go back and play Gears 5, which I'm sure I will down the road with you guys, it'll probably be Horde mode, to be honest. That's what I have the most fun with.
And also, the fact that I can play my Xbox with mouse and keyboard made it even better, because I try to play with controller now, and I am hot garbage. But being able to play on my Xbox with my mouse and keyboard is like, it's clutch. It's the best thing ever. I love it.
And that's kind of something I wanted to ask as well. So they launched this game with Game Pass for one. So if you have Game Pass, you get to play this game for free, which I think is amazing. I don't think I'll ever stop being blown away by how great a deal Game Pass is.
Oh yeah, Game Pass is incredible.
But not only that, you can play it on your Xbox and PC, like Trey said. So that opens up a lot of people that might not have had console that now can, get into Game Pass Ultimate and still get that value of playing games like this day one. But I wanted to ask about the comparison between the two. I don't know if both of you have played on both consoles yet.
I
have.
Okay. Wanted to see if you guys saw any major differences. I know Trey's already talked about playing on mouse and keyboard, but any graphics, frame rate, anything like that. I'd just like to hear your opinions from playing on both consoles. What you think the difference is on both platforms.
I noticed a couple times when I was playing on console during the campaign, during some heavy moments in the campaign, there'd be a second or two of frame drops. And I can't compare it to the PC version because I didn't play that particular area during that. But
sure, yeah.
I don't want to say there's a big graphical difference. There's really not, but you can tell it looks better on PC. Like I played that today. That's what I played multiplayer on with you guys. I played on PC, and you definitely can tell it looks better. It runs a little bit smoother on PC, but that by no means it runs or looks bad on Xbox, because it looks and runs fantastic.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple dark scenes in the campaign, and I was talking to one of my buddies I was playing it with. I'm like, dude, this game, even on just Xbox One, and it looks, the lighting effects, it looks incredible. So as far as the difference that I saw, yes, was it enough to make it be like, man, I should get it on this? Because no.
Yeah, I think I honestly feel like Gears of War 5 has set the bar for visuals for all of the games on Xbox. Like, it's the best looking game on the console, I would say.
It's beautiful.
And like Tim was saying, I think it definitely looks and I think runs a little bit better on a PC, just because it has an uncapped wealth of power that it could tap into. Right. Whereas I'm playing on just a regular, the Halo Xbox, and I'm experiencing frame drops and lag, so it's not like 60 FPS all the way through, but it's still a gorgeous game.
And that's a good note, actually, because you don't have an Xbox One X, right?
I do not.
So I have an Xbox One X, and I didn't really experience that many issues, like very, very rarely. So you might have definitely experienced more issues than I had, because you have an OG Xbox.
It's exactly what it is. I mean, it happens. It happens in just about every game I play on my Xbox, but I'll get there eventually. I'm holding out for that Project Scarlet. So
Right. No, I don't blame you. At this point, I don't blame you.
All right.
So, I mean, we pretty much touched on everything, right? We hit up multiplayer, we hit up campaign, talked about escape, talked about Horde. Any last thoughts that you guys have about the game itself? Questions that you want to ask?
I'm just looking forward for more characters. I know we get Batista, or Batista, Dave Batiste. I think the 14th of September is what I heard.
Oh yeah.
I
forgot to add him.
There's rumors of Terry Crews coming to the game. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to more characters. Just because the whole Horde mode and escape mode, having every character having their own thing is awesome. Also, the Terminators in the game, which is
Right.
badass.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why
Yeah.
not? But
Because money.
Right.
brand deals. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, hopefully they get these server issues knocked out, because that's my main gripe with the game. Other than that, I mean, it's solid. It's a solid game, man, through and through.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you want to end it with like a summary or a recap here, just
So,
kind of
yeah.
of everything we talked about?
Pretty simple. Campaign to me is the highlight of the game. They did really well this time around. The story was definitely better than 4. Like 4's story was okay, but this game definitely brought it makes me want to go back and play 4 actually just because of that. So the campaign definitely highlight of the game. Multiplayer is great if you want Gears of War multiplayer. This is 100% Gears of War multiplayer with what I felt like was definitely some improvements. Escape mode's there if you like it. It's new. Try it out. If you don't like it, everything else is still there. And Horde mode is still Horde mode is still the Horde we love. Like we still it's no different. They've adjusted a couple things, but not, in my opinion, not for the worse. If anything, for the better. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of updates that hit it, but like to me overall, like if I was to give the game a score, so if I was to give this game a score in its current state, and I'm not going to count the fact that execution and Warzone isn't in competitive play. That's just. I don't feel like it's a fair. I'm upset about it. I genuinely am, but I have to compare the game to what it is and whatnot and how things are working. I would legit probably give it at least a 9. Like visually, it's there. Story wise, it's there. Multiplayer overall, it's there. They even added an extra game mode that if you wanted to play, it's there. Horde mode's still there. I mean, it's literally the complete package without beast mode. What? Beast mode. Yeah, throwback there if you guys know what that is.
Oh, that's what. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it's coming. That'd be the next title update. But.
Server issues, are kind of keeping it from being like a perfect game, a perfect Gears game in my opinion, because that's a big thing. And that's what I would if I, Tim, the Gears fan of the group, was to score it, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10 for the overall experience that I've had so far.
Awesome.
I would give it. I mean, if we're going round table of scores,
go
here.
for it. No.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not. No.
Oh, I mean, as like a medium Gears player, I enjoy the game a lot. With the server issues, I would give it a 7.
Okay.
Beyond that, I feel like the map pool in the start, it was okay. The character pool from the start is okay. I'll definitely up it up a notch for the inclusion of Halo characters and the Terminator characters. But the gunplay feels a little off to me. Graphically, it's the visually the best looking game in the series. Campaign, from what I've played so far, is fantastic. Multiplayer modes are awesome. I love the inclusion of escape mode. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Mainly just the server issues is what kills it for me.
That's and look, I get it. I hope they work past those, but
Yeah.
I completely understand. I don't blame you one bit. But that pretty much wraps up our Gears of War 5 review here from the FAMcast and the Fam. Thank you guys for watching. I know we got a couple other big titles coming out, so keep an eye and listening to those podcast reviews coming out then. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to FAMcast. Be sure to subscribe for the latest episodes and follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and our other socials at For All Manakind.